Share Podcast.
Shortlist edition.
With Ryan and Ice. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ice.
All right. So this was your idea.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sort of, I guess. I just thought it'd be fun to do like a 20-minute episode every now and then of like our top 5 whatevers.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And, just because I think our episodes are going to be a little fewer and far between here as we start to get a little busier, but these can supplement while people are waiting for like a full episode to come out.
Yeah, because they're going to be a lot easier to do and shoot and edit.
Yeah.
And they'll be shorter.
Exactly. So
now,
go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, so like what you were saying, like the interval of release, we may be changing that slightly. So what we're thinking about doing is probably 2 episodes every month. They'll still be released on Tuesdays, but it might be alternating every other Tuesday. Yeah. Now, we might throw one in between, depending on how things go.
So just make sure you're getting the emails or you're getting notifications so you know you don't miss an episode.
That's right. And because these are short, maybe we might stick the short ones in between the weeks. We don't know yet.
Right.
So basically what I'm trying to say
we're just going to fill it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without any further ado, what's our list today?
Okay, our list today was you gave me several suggestions, and so I picked our favorite top 5, right? Our top 5.
Top
5. That was the stipulations.
Yes. Top 5 with an honorable mention.
With an honorable mention. I appreciate that. Yeah. This is going to be our favorite vehicles, right?
Yes.
Motor vehicles.
Motor vehicles, yes.
Yeah, we would, to qualify, I think would be 4 wheels, right? 4 wheels. That would be road legal.
Yeah, road legal, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to work, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, and honorable mention 1.
Oh, the honorable mention is going to be before number 1. I like that. That's a good idea. I like it. Yep.
I think that's a nice setup, right?
No, that's good.
And we're
obviously going from least favorite to most favorite or whatever. Least desirable to most desirable, whatever it is. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go into any great lengths of detail. We're just going to mention maybe the nail on the head of why that vehicle is in that position and then move on.
Yeah.
Very good?
Very good.
Okay. So who you want to go first? You want me to go first? How do you want to do this?
I can go first. That's fine. I mean, I am excited because I think no matter what the category is, you and I are going to have very different lists, but I can for sure say on this topic, our list probably couldn't be any more different.
Well, I didn't get to hear anything about your list at all, other than I kind of already knew one of your vehicles.
Yeah.
And then you were like, that's the top one. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So, and then that was about the length of it. But then I mentioned like a couple things that I really desire in my top 5. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think our lists are going to be anywhere close.
Not anywhere close.
So I'm really excited because you don't know anything other than a couple things I said. You don't know any particular vehicles. And I only know the one because it's been one that you've gone on and on and on about for years.
Yes. So. All right. Well, my number 5, and I don't know this. I'm not going to consider this cheating, but my number 5 is a vehicle I've already owned. It was my 1991 Ford Ranger. I miss that truck all the time. Oh my God.
That's so funny.
That truck was a beast, man. It made several trips to Philly and back to Ohio. It made a ton of trips from Nashville to Ohio. And I loved that thing.
What year was it?
It was a 1991.
A 91.
When it finally stopped running, it had 204,000 miles on it, I believe. But, man, that was the first vehicle I bought with my own money. And it would be totally impractical now because I have, 2 kids and whatever. But for being just a single or just, a married guy without any kids or whatever, like, it was great. And I could haul my gear around in it, and it was awesome. And it looked like an old farm vehicle, and that's why I
Yeah.
loved it. It had big
And
ass
didn't they
mirrors
have-
on it.
It was a red truck.
With a
and
big
didn't they
ass
have-
white cap. Yeah.
They had a white cap on the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And I that vehicle sat in my driveway, and you and I rebuilt the starter on.
Well,
that
let's
thing.
not joke. You rebuilt the starter. I supervised. I handed you tools.
You heavy tools.
Yeah, man. We rebuilt the starter. Kenny rebuilt the drive shaft.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
That vehicle had a lot of history, and I was very sad to see it go, and I still miss it to this day. It's also, out of all the vehicles I've owned in my life, it is still the one that had the most leg room in the driver's seat. And I was like one of my favorite things about it.
You know what? That truck was a comfortable truck.
Dude.
It had a big bench seat in it. And
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it was awesome.
It was a nice truck.
Air still blew super fucking cold.
Yeah, it did.
It had running boards. Like some old man owned it before I did, and he like souped it out in an old man way. But man, that truck it had the big ass steel farmer's mirrors on it.
Yep.
Where you could literally see like 8 lanes of traffic in it. Like
yeah, that way, in case you had like bales of hay hanging over the bed.
yeah. Anyway, that's my number 5. I love that thing, and if someone said, "Hey, you can have it again and it'll run forever," I would take it.
It was a good truck, man. Those trucks did last a long time. Those were a good truck that they made. So funny about that. My number 5 is a Ford truck as well,
All right.
but it's a 1949 Ford F3.
Ooh, okay.
So it's super old school, but man, this truck, I mean, there's a picture of it on the screen.
Oh, I like that.
That truck has some cool curves to it. It's all that old, like, school Route 66 kind of thing going on with it. And I have a very nitpicky, I think maybe is the word, part with trucks. I either like old trucks like that are super curvy.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe
I like my trucks the way I like my women.
Yeah,
Curvy.
ultra curvy.
Yeah.
So love that. The wooden bed, like super cool. The big plate window on the front. Love everything about those. And those trucks are easy to work on. Their engines are simple.
Yeah.
They're such cool trucks. But I like old trucks like that, and I like the trucks that were not long after that, like in the 80s, where they were like more boxy, like kind of like the old Bigfoot monster truck kind of look.
Yeah.
I like those trucks, not as much as I like the older trucks, like the 1949s and the 40s and 50s. And then, of course, I like ultra new trucks with all the new bells and whistles. Those are my stages right there. That's it. But if I'm going to buy a truck, if I'm not buying a brand spanking new one like that, then I would much rather buy an old truck like that because they're super hip. They're super, super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my number 5, 1949 F3.
Okay. So my number 4, I picked. I really do like these, but it's also I think the reason our lists are going to be different is that we're going to have different criteria, maybe.
Okay,
But I really like these from a practicality standpoint.
Okay.
And I'm not even going to say a specific year because the great thing about them is you could get one that's 25 years old, and if it was well taken care of, it's still going to freaking run it's brand new today. And that would be a Toyota Sequoia. I love those things. And from a practicality standpoint of being a drummer, they have a ton of room to haul gear in. Or from a practicality standpoint of being a father of 2, like, man, you can get a whole bunch of luggage and your entire family in there, and they'd be really comfortable on a long trip or whatever.
Christmas time, you're carrying lots of presents up.
Exactly.
And yes.
Anything like that. And honestly, I've never seen one from any generation where I didn't like the way they look. Like every time they revamp the body style, like I still think they look cool.
Yep, super cool vehicles. Those have got the V8 from the Tundra in it.
Yeah.
Or no, it's the V8 and the powertrain, not from the Tundra, but the I think it's the Land Cruiser.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And dude,
Bulletproof.
I've been on numerous websites where people have them and they have like well over 400,000 miles, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm never gonna get rid of it because it's still running like a clock."
Yeah. Right.
That's the other thing is, I don't look at cars as an investment; they are an expense. Like they depreciate as soon as you buy them. Where like a house, if I buy a house, as long as I don't totally beat the shit out of it, it appreciates in value without having to do much to it.
Or keep chickens in the basement.
Do you keep chickens in your basement?
No.
Oh. Mm-mm. I won't tell anybody. Anyway, but like to me, like spending a whole bunch of money on a super fancy car or whatever, not that fun to me. But like, if I know, I'm gonna have this car for like 20 years, and I'm not gonna have to do anything to it except change the oil and like get new tires, that to me is appealing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's yeah. I can't say that all the cars on my list are like that, but
Toyota Sequoia.
That one definitely is. All right.
They're a cool vehicle, man.
Number 4.
Number 4. My number 4 would have to be, this is when things start to cross over, the Tesla Model S. I really want a Tesla Model S. I'm super duper into tech, obviously, but I am really into electric vehicles. And I think I've always been into like the electric vehicles, kind of keep my eye on them and seeing how things are going and where that technology is going. And if the battery tech's getting better, if they're putting in the charging stations, how is that going? I've always kind of been aware of this. But ever since getting my wheel, which is an electric vehicle, personal electric vehicle, I have been really excited about the idea of possibly owning an electric vehicle at some point, because there's another part of like sense of freedom that comes with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not like super tree huggery guy, even though I do believe that we all should try to do what we can to conserve and not use up as much energy as we possibly can.
Of course, yeah.
But the whole idea of electric vehicles and autonomous driving is very exciting to me.
Yeah. That's interesting.
In another 50 years, let's say it takes that long to get autonomous vehicles on the road, where it's an autonomous grid. Every vehicle will know what every vehicle's doing. Now, it's not going to be like they're going to be able to follow you home or, that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting like creepy and sneaky. I don't want people thinking. But they'll know like that vehicle is going to take the next ramp.
Right.
To exit. So instead of causing like a slowdown, the other vehicles just compensate and allow it to slip over, and it can get off, and the rest of the freeway just keeps moving.
Right.
So stuff like that is very exciting, and the potential for it. We're gonna see a lot less deaths on the road. It'll just be ultra safe. I know there's like accidents and stuff with electric vehicles now, but considering how many there are and considering the accidents that happen, it's almost negligible.
That's an interesting thing. Like, I'm not totally sold on it yet, but I'm not against it. But it's like one of those things I'm very fascinated to see where it goes, because it's kind of crazy. Side note, like, I think Walt Disney's like a really interesting person. And like, if you think about how but even just in the times, like in the 60s, how they viewed the future, kind of that like utopian type future. And it's like, obviously they thought it was going to happen way sooner than if it does. They thought that's what it would be like now.
Yeah.
But it is
right.
interesting to see that like there are some things that are moving in that direction, you know, like, and you think about people like him, or I'm sure there were others that had visions for that kind of stuff way back then, you know, in the 50s and 60s. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Well, not to go too far off the path here, but it's just an interesting thought.
This
just
is
this
not
one.
going to be a 20-minute episode.
Yeah, I'm watching the clock. I'm going to make this happen in about 40 seconds. So if you take like when we actually got to the moon, which is 1965-ish, around that area, 1962,
right?
1965. Was it 68 maybe?
69.
Was it 69 we got to the moon? Oh, wait. Sputnik was that 65? Sputnik may have happened in 65 or 62. Anyway,
yeah.
When that, okay, so if you take, let's just go in the middle, 65, right? Okay. 1965. And you go 100 years backward. That would take you to 1865, right?
Right.
So look at 1865 and look at what was civilization in 1865 exactly. I mean, I think there were cars, but there weren't like a lot of them.
In 1865? I don't think there were cars in 1865.
There were vehicles. I was fascinated to find out that there were vehicles that have been around a lot longer than I even.
Like motor vehicles?
Yes, but steam powered, like like the whole thing. Not that there were streets and all that kind of that sort of thing happening. Yeah. But 1865. But the majority of people traveled by horseback.
Yeah.
And wagon, right? And 100 years from going from that, and I don't even think we had solid indoor plumbing at that point.
No, probably not.
I'm pretty sure we didn't. I should have looked this up a little bit better, but I didn't know we were going to get into this exactly. But okay, so you look at that 100 years from not having indoor plumbing and not having the way we would travel great distances on an animal. We went from that to going to outer space by rockets.
Right.
In 100 years. So what exactly is in store for us in 2065?
Right.
You know, that's another 100 years. I think Elon Musk and a lot of other guys were like thinking that we might be a little bit further along by now. And I thought maybe so too. I think some things happened and it stifled our trajectory. But there's nothing to say that something couldn't come along and flip that and because there's some missing tech that we don't have right now that I think SpaceX is working on. And man, in 2065, shoot, it could be. And here's the thing about that. You and I could very well still be alive.
I mean, I would hope so. 2065 was only...
Yeah, we'd be in like 90s, right?
What?
How old would we be?
Well, it's 2021, so 2065 would be another. I guess it'd be another 44 years. Yeah, we might not be alive.
Yeah, we might, but we'll be on. Yeah. We'll be close.
We'll be
to
seeing.
it.
We'll be seeing some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we might be seeing something really cool about to happen, or it could happen earlier.
Yeah.
But still, very, 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 very cool to think about.
All right.
So yeah, Model S Tesla, right. And then now your number 4, right?
Number 3.
Three. That's right. You already did your 4. Yeah.
Number 3 would be an '80s Jeep Woody Wagoneer.
Oh,
it's gonna be a theme here on my top 5. Love those, man. Like that. I mean, it's Chrysler. Maybe that's before Chrysler owned Jeep. But if it isn't, then they were probably shitty and didn't last very long. But I love the way they look.
What is it again?
A Jeep Woody Wagoneer. You can probably just put in Jeep Wagoneer.
Jeep Wagoneer.
But like there's like a mid 80s to early 90s model. They were great. They were super cool looking.
It says there's a 2021 version.
Yeah, they've been saying that for a while. I don't know if there's actually one or if it's just a concept vehicle and there's like artwork for it. But I'm not interested in anything new from any domestic car company.
This is National Lampoon's.
No, they were in a station wagon.
Oh, were they in station wagon? It looks a little bit. Oh no! This one's got big tires on it. This looks super cool.
They're like an SUV, but they're bigger than like a Grand Cherokee or anything like. There's actually. There you go. Except that is that one white?
No,
it
it's just
looks like
blowing
it.
out the screen. Yeah, it's dark gray.
Yeah.
Looks super sweet though.
There's several reasons. One of the reasons I like it, I'm not going to mention because it's like embarrassing, but just to say that I watched this show. But I did watch this show. In fact, Amy and I just watched this entire series not that long ago because she had never seen it all the way through.
I want to hear this.
And it was like quite fun to go back and watch this like late 90s teen drama
as
an adult.
Okay, this isn't that 80s show. That was a sitcom.
Yeah, but no, it's not that show.
It would definitely be on that show.
It was much more of a cheesy, dramatic show.
Saved by the Bell. No.
Anyway, that's my number 3. I bet you some people out there can probably figure out what show I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you know, leave it in a comment.
Yeah.
Or hit our suggestion box with it.
The old BS.
The old BS.
All right, what's your number 3?
Box of suggestion. Number 3 for me is the brand new company that just started a few years ago called Rivian. Rivian. They start out with just a truck called the R1T. But then they made that truck into a SUV, which is the R1S. This is also an electric vehicle. Look up this truck. It's Rivian.
And then it's what is it?
R1T. Rivian 1 truck. This truck is awesome. It's got more power, way more power than my F-150, which is the 6-cylinder twin turbo. It's got crazy. Well, let me put in comparison real quick as far as the tow capacity of this thing. My oh wait, no, this tow capacity's different. Oh well, you know what? Here's the thing: tow capacity can differ, even though the truck maybe have more power, because it has to do with the suspension. So if this suspension on this truck's dialed more into being a softer ride or something, then its tow capacity is going to go down. But if it's stiffer, obviously it will be able to handle, moving large trailers and whatnot.
It's very interesting looking.
But let me see here. I'm looking under performance. Where is it at? I'm looking for the.
We're just breaking all the rules of the short list.
I know we are.
I love it.
So its 0 to 60 time is right at or a little bit less than 3 seconds.
That's it, man. My 0 to 60 time is way faster than that.
It's a truck.
I know. I'm being funny. Obviously, I can't even run 60 miles an hour.
Oh, so the tow capacity on this thing is 11,000 pounds, which is really, really good, and it outdoes most of the GMs on the market, unless you're looking at heavy duty, which is different truck altogether. My tow capacity on my truck is at 13,500, but mine's set up for towing, so it's a bit different. This is straight out of the box. This is what you're going to get, 11,000 pounds, all-wheel drive all the time, and they're all electric motors. Yeah, it's a quad motor, so it's not like one big motor in the front driving through, doing like a transaxle to the wheels and one in the back doing, it's motor per wheel. Pretty cool. They find that doing that, they get better response out of any kind of slippage and oversteer or understeer if you lose control of your vehicle. So yeah, the Rivian R1T, really want it. It's super badass, and I really have a thing for trucks.
Yeah. That was your number 3, right?
That was my number 3.
My number 2, I'm going to be quick because it needs no explanation or justification. I think if you know what the vehicle is, then you know why it's awesome. And that is a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh my gosh, the Land Cruiser is such a cool car, man.
Yeah.
Or truck or SUV.
Whatever,
How you want to
yeah.
say it.
Yeah. Those
Wow.
things, dude, those things, they run for like 500,000 miles.
That's funny.
Just beat the snot out of them, and they just keep taking it.
Yeah, whenever there's any type of one of the shows I watch, I love Top Gear, and then those guys, Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond, all left the BBC, and they were picked up by Amazon and did the Grand Tour, which the Grand Tour on Amazon is a lot of fun to watch. Okay. And those guys have a really great chemistry and everything, but they also have some really good information about vehicles, and they do silly things with vehicles. But anytime that they're going on an excursion, like they take some really ratty vehicles and they try to drive across like Africa or something, their chase cars or camera operator cars are always Land Cruisers. Always.
Man.
Yep.
They're not cheap, but they're freaking awesome.
Boy, they get beat to death, and they always are the vehicle that usually saves the day when the other vehicles start breaking down.
And I'm pretty sure this is the last year they're making them, which bums me out. Yeah, because they're gas guzzlers, even with today's technology. But I watched this thing where this guy, it's a mechanic who has a YouTube channel, and he's awesome. And he had a customer that brought in a Land Cruiser that the customer had it for a long time, and I think something happened to the hood. But it was like a 90s Land Cruiser. Well, he was able to go get a hood from like an 06, and it just went right on. Because they have not really changed anything about them. Like,
that's the one thing about Toyota.
You can just get parts for them anywhere.
Yep. Like Toyota won't monkey with little things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tell me what vehicle outlasts that one. Why would you change anything about it?
Yeah, why? Yeah, right. Why? That vehicle's been honed.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer they're not going to make them anymore.
It's
just going to make them even more expensive on the used market.
You're not kidding, man, because the used right now they're still
they go for more than like a brand new car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they'll have 300,000 miles on them, and they still want like $30-some thousand for them.
Now, I'll tell you another one Toyota is that they make that is similar to that one that runs solid all day, every day, and will run almost as long, and that's the Highlander.
Yes. Yeah, I got one in my garage. So do
you.
You
too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. They are awesome vehicle. I mean, are they super duper showy and have all the glowy sparkly bits and all that? No, not really. But I'll tell you right now, you get in that vehicle, first time in it ever, you get in it and you're comfortable and you know where everything is and you can make everything work because everything's accessible and super easy to get to. And it drives fantastic.
Dude, that's I hardly get to drive ours anymore because it just became Amy's car.
Right.
Which is fine, but I love the way that thing handles. It drives you feel like you're driving like a Camry or something.
Yeah.
Everything about it is so smooth, and they are deceptively large inside. They don't look like a huge vehicle from the outside, but man, they have so much space.
They have
I can sit inside in the second row with the front seat all the way back and still have plenty of legroom.
Yeah.
They are quite comfortable.
They are. They're very comfortable.
I didn't put that on my list, but yeah, I mean, out of all the vehicles we've ever owned or I've ever owned, that is the nicest one.
Yeah. It is a super, super nice vehicle, and I look forward to putting 500,000 miles.
Same. I'll be happy if we get over 3. Anything beyond that is a bonus.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Number 2 for me. I'll hit this one out. So number 2 is a brand new vehicle just released this year or last year, however you want to look at it. The 2021 Corvette Stingray. I have a super duper fascination and love for supercars and just this wouldn't really qualify as a muscle car. It's more like a supercar because is the first Corvette that they've introduced that has an actual mid-engine. So mid-engine is when the engine is behind the driver and passenger. So before this, it's always been up in the front. But I'll tell you right now, that particular vehicle is one of the quickest ways into supercar at the cheapest that you can go. Like the current net price on this Stingray rear wheel drive mid engine base is $68,000. I mean, it's
for
a lot
for
of
that category though, that's like not bad.
That's not bad, considering that my Platinum F-150. Now, I did not buy this truck new, but if I were to have bought my truck brand new, it would have cost me $62,000.
Right.
So, other supercars, you're looking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and really, for the performance this thing offers, Corvette. I mean, I really dig. My dad has an older Stingray. 1964, I think, something like that. Super cool look. That's the cool one with the high fenders in the front. The really long nose, and you have to anticipate the turn. And
does it still run? I mean, does it run? Like,
oh yeah.
So does he drive it?
He does, but not often.
Sure.
It's pretty much parked in a garage, and that'll be some retirement money, I think, for him.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah. So, the Corvette Stingray 2021 edition. I love it, and I would love to have one.
All right.
Number 2 for you. Or wait.
Honorable mention.
You're ahead of me. Yeah, you're on the honorable mention.
Which I just thought of another one.
Oh, no.
But I'm just going to go with what I wrote down.
Okay.
Which I honestly, I don't even know if it's a real vehicle, but I think it is.
Okay.
But that would be the Tumbler from Batman Begins.
It is. It is a real vehicle.
That thing is freaking awesome.
Honorable mention is the Tumbler.
Yes. Dude, come on. If you could have one of those. Don't you remember we were always trying to find the car on GTA 5 that was enough like that we could armor up?
True. That's true.
And make it look like it?
Yeah. The guys that built that, they had a show on Discovery Channel for a minute, and they're 2 brothers. I know people are going to be like, oh, it's blah, 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 but I can't remember the name, and I'm trying to look them up. But I think I'm fairly sure that they're the ones that built that vehicle. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like they did. Or I could be thinking of another vehicle that they built that looked very similar to this for the military.
Yeah. Well,
it may have been that vehicle and then modified that.
That is the story behind it in the movie, is that it was a military vehicle.
You're right.
So,
right. That's true.
Anyway, if I had to pick a real car as an honorable mention, it would be the only car I would say, but it'd be like an 80s Pontiac Firebird T-top.
Oh, the Screaming Chicken.
Yeah, dude. Those things.
Are you talking about the Bandit vehicle?
Oh, I guess I am. Yeah. I always forget that that's what he drives.
What color?
Oh, I don't know. Probably black.
Yeah, I know. Black with the gold Screaming Chicken on the hood.
But just the T-top, where you got the panels that come off, like, I mean, I'm not really one for like, cool like muscle cars or sport cars or anything like that. But those things are cool. I don't even know if they're a piece of crap or not. They're just cool looking.
No, they're a decent vehicle.
I mean, Pontiac isn't even a company anymore, so that tells you everything you need to know. But
yeah, they're cool. They're definitely cool. They're a cool vehicle. That was one that I always wanted, and I thought maybe having a red one with a black Screaming Chicken on the hood would be cool.
Yeah, I mean either way.
Okay, so my honorable mention.
Yes.
I was going to go with the Land Cruiser, but since you've already covered Land Cruiser,
sorry.
There's a different cruiser that I was ready to pick, and it would be the FJ Cruiser that has been discontinued by Toyota.
Those things were awesome.
Those things were cool as shit. So the only bad thing about that vehicle, do you know what it is that I'm going to say? The only bad thing about that vehicle
is that it's discontinued. No, I don't know. I mean,
it's only 2-door.
Oh, it had like the suicide doors, but it was like a half door.
Yes, yeah. That was the only bad thing about that vehicle. If Toyota would have put actual 4-door on that, because I don't know if you've ever been up close to one or been inside one.
I haven't been inside one.
Those doors are huge. They're really, really long.
Yeah.
And they could have absolutely taken the length off those doors and redone that side panel and figured out how to put 2 other doors in there. But if they had done that, that may have saved that FJ Cruiser. But still,
those
the
things
FJ
were cool,
Cruiser,
man. Especially if you had one that was like super tricked out with like a snorkel on it and all kinds of stuff. Like, those things were awesome, man.
Now, they were also gas hogs, but those, I believe, were also running the same engine as the Sequoia and the Land Cruiser.
I believe you are correct.
And I think the same transmission.
Yeah. I think there was like a V6 version you could get too. But like if you're gonna get V6. That, why would you not get like the big boy?
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, super cool car.
Yeah. Man, I forgot all about those. Those were awesome.
Number 1 for you.
Number 1 for me would be a late 80s to early 90s. You know what I'm going to say?
Yes, I do.
And it's not in general. It is specific to that time period. Late 80s, early 90s, Chevy Suburban. When they were made out of metal and they were like two-tone. Man, something about those, that is my favorite vehicle of all time. First of all, you could freaking play football inside them because they are huge. And there's just something about that specific generation, just the way they look. They're kind of like cowboyish or farmish or whatever, but like, man, they are. If someone would be like, hey, I have one of those and it's got like 30,000 miles on it, if I could afford it, I would buy it in a heartbeat, and I would just take as good a care as possible to have it run for as long as possible. That's also back when like Chevy still made engines that were worth a shit, and transmissions. You know, it was only like a 4-speed, so it wasn't that complicated. Like it probably wouldn't have that many problems. It also only got like 12 miles to the gallon on the highway. But man, those things were great. That's my number 1. Those are
super cool vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of them right now.
They looked like newer ones look like they're trying to be too luxury car-ish. And the older ones, you can tell it was like built on a truck base.
Yes.
You know?
Right off their Silverados. Yep.
Yeah, like it just looks like a truck.
Yep.
And
that's what I still appreciate about the Ford Expedition is they're taking the F-150 and they're just putting a different body on top of that truck. Yeah. Super cool.
Anyway,
okay.
Love those. All
number right. 1 for me.
You're number 1.
Oh boy, it's a biggie. This vehicle, I believe, currently sells for, I think it's around $800,000.
Oh, so it's not too bad then.
No, it's not too bad. It's completely doable. No, I'm wrong. 1.1 million.
Oh, well, that's out of the question.
Yeah, now it's way too far. They're wanting way too much. That's silly money.
What is it?
No, it is the Ferrari LaFerrari.
Of course.
It is the first. Well, it is the first, and then Porsche came very quickly right after this one, but this was the first hybrid hypercar. So it is electric and gas powered.
Yeah.
And it is, I don't remember. I used to know all the details of this thing. It has a V12.
A V12? Oh my. Good Lord.
It has a 6.3 liter V12 engine in it. And then it has, that gives you 950 brake horsepower. That's 663 foot-pound of torque. And then there are electric motors that are tied to that system somehow. And I can't remember how they did it. I can't remember if they incorporated it in between the transmission and the wheels, or if they dedicated 2 sets of wheels or a set of wheels to electric and the other set of wheels to gas power or whatever.
Right.
But talk about a fast freaking car. And I've always had like this.
I can't even imagine.
I've always had this major love affair for Ferraris. I love the way they sound. I love the way they look.
Yeah.
Their handling is fantastic. I've really always liked Ferrari. I like Lamborghinis too, but Lamborghinis are kind of like a spectacle, more or less.
Yeah.
Where a Ferrari is like, that's a driver's car.
Right.
And I've always really loved the way they sound. They have a very particular tone that is just really, really nice. So yeah,
All right.
That's my number one, the Ferrari LaFerrari.
Well, that wraps up the old short list.
It sure does.
Let us know what you think of this idea, because we're probably going to do a few more, regardless of what you tell us. But let us know anyway.
Yeah, we'd like to know. Yeah, so that's the short list. Thanks for hanging out with us, and don't forget, subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, share,
Rate,
and
review. Yeah.
That's it.
All that.
Do all those things.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the flippity flip. Hey, thanks for listening or watching the Good Share podcast. Hey, Ice, tell them what they can do.
Well, if you're enjoying the show, please take a minute and like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss an episode.
That's right. And if you want to know more, go to the Good Share podcast.com.
.com. Say hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim!